Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas. This is how to create a hyper-casual game in Unity, and welcome to episode 20. In this tutorial, we are going to take a look at our crash mechanics. So basically, we're going to allow our player to crash into a cube, and then we're going to end the run and reset everything all over. Don't forget, click subscribe, click the bell icon as well to stay up to date with every tutorial I have on my channel on Unity and all kinds of things on development. And you can stay up to date with this series as well, because there's still some to go in this series and it's been quite a fun one so far. And if you've enjoyed it, please feel free to check me out on Patreon or YouTube memberships where you learn things like early access, exclusive content, project files, and so much more. With that in mind, let's get to work. So basically, we can use the same kind of mechanics that we had for our scoring. So if I go to one of our ledges, so let's say ledge 0A. Here, if you recall, this is just part of the section which starts. That doesn't have any scoring mechanics. However, each of these ledges over here do have scoring mechanics. So we can use that same kind of principle, i.e. we crash into this particular object and we can end our run. So the way it works is we're going to have to adjust how these work. So this score adder here, if I bring that in, we can see that if we crash into this, nothing happens. This just basically adds a score. So in hindsight, we probably should have adjusted this a little bit earlier on, but you know, it doesn't matter too much. So if I turn the mesh renderer on, we can see what that score object actually is. So we just need to adjust that to fit in the gaps. And realistically, I guess that there's no quick way of doing this, I think. I mean, you can be as quick as you want with it. But while I do this, hopefully you guys know what to do with it. While I do this, I'll explain how we're going to deal with that crash mechanic. So the crash mechanic, like I say, is going to be working on the same principle as adding a score. And as long as you have, like me, what we have score objects in these gaps, you'll be fine. So we're going to add, sorry, I'm getting myself mixed up here. We're going to crash into one of these cubes and trigger a sequence rather than add the score. But it's still going to be working on that on trigger enter function. So that on trigger enter function is what drives the entire game. So I'm just doing the last one here. One, and that fits into center there. So the score is now only in those gaps. So let's go to our score adder, and what I'm going to do is hold control, press D to duplicate, and I'm going to rename that script to say crash mech, and obviously mech is short for mechanic. So if I go into crash mech, you'll have an error down here, by the way. We don't need to worry about that just for now. It's because the class name is different from the script name. So we just need to change that. Crash mech. And save. So at the moment, this crash mech script is adding our score, which we don't actually want. What we do need to have, though, is a different style of script. We need to actually add in the namespace for UI, because we're going to change that final score element that we created last tutorial. So using Unity engine.ui semicolon. Now we can keep this here, the on trigger enter and if tag other player object. We can keep that, but we do need to get rid of that score there. So how do we do this exactly? It's clever how we're going to do it, because we need to effectively stop our player moving as well. We also need to fade into the white screen again, which is the splash background. So let's establish a couple of variables in here. Firstly, let's have the player. So public game object the player. If you want to turn off the music, then have this next variable. I'm going to turn it off. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. Public game object, and we'll have back music semicolon. Next is going to be that white splash background, because we're going to play that animation to fade it to white. So public game object and splash background. Next, we're going to have that final score element appear on screen. So public game object final score semicolon. So let's establish this. First things first, if we hit a cube, we need to transfer over our score into that final score, but only after we have stopped the player from moving, so we cannot add any more score to it. So the player dot get component, and it's char move, because that's the name of the script, open close bracket dot enabled equals false. So we've stopped our player moving. Next thing we need to do is transfer that score over and turn final score on. So if we go to score adder, we've got score cube monitor plus score none. So we're going to take that. So that's the exact variable that we need. And we're going to say final score dot get component text open close bracket dot text equals, and it's going to say final score and then colon close quote and plus that variable. So it will appear in that text now, so we need to set it on. So final score dot set active true semicolon. So that will appear on screen. But what we need to do is also fade our splash background, and we can actually cheat once. Well, I say cheat, we can actually use a bit of code we've already written, and we can use this. So in CA3D begins that we wrote last tutorial, let's take that splash background dot get component animator, copy it, place it in here, and instead of splash fade out, we have splash fade in, and save. So one thing I'm actually thinking about as well is turning off the collider to any object that we have crashed into. That's my thinking, simply because we don't want to repeat it over and over and over. So let's actually do that. So if we collide with it, let's say this dot game object dot get component box collider dot enabled equals false. So we turn it off so we can't accidentally trigger things over and over and over and over. So at this point, what's going to happen? We're going to turn it off, we're going to stop moving, we're going to display our final score, and we're going to fade to white. We also need to turn the back music off as well, don't we? So let's have that after we've turned the box collider off. So back music dot set active false semicolon, and let's resave. So now effectively what we need to do is attach that script to everything that we can collide with that will end our game. So what we need to do is, if we select all of these here, so floor left, we can, well, basically let's just drag and drop the scripts onto each of these ones here. So it is crash mech, isn't it? So let's drag crash mech onto there, and crash mech onto there, and crash mech onto there. It's very slow, this, isn't it? Let's try this. Let's go in hierarchy and let's type in floor left. Now hopefully we should be able to see that if we select each one of these, they are indeed all of these sections there. So let's go to the ones where we haven't added the script because it was taking too long. Let's select them all. Let's click add component and let's type in crash mech and add it that way. Now all those scripts have it, but we've got to add in all those variables, haven't we, to each one? No, we don't. Great thing is, let's select all of those collisions now, and then we can add them all in. The reason we can do this is because they have the exact same script on all of them, so it just makes it a lot easier. So how do we do this? Well, all we need to do is drag and drop. We have everything highlighted here, everything we need to add on to. Let's drag player object onto there. Let's drag audio onto there, splash background onto there, and final score onto there. So each one of those collision now has everything in place. So we don't have to do it one by one. That's got a duplicate there, so that can, we don't need to worry about that. Remove. That was one extra I added in. So each of those now has that. And if you want to do it the long way, you can click on each one of those, add the script, add all the variables in. So, you know, it is pretty simple. The last thing we're going to need to do is actually tick them all as trigger here. So another way of doing it, instead of in the hierarchy, is if we hold Control and click them one by one. We can select them this way. And then we just need to tick is trigger. Let's save our scene. And let's see how this behaves now. I'm not expecting this to work first time, but I think we should be okay. So far, so good. Let's see if we can get ourselves a bit of a score without crashing. Okay. So now, let's crash. Right. So, we can see here that our final score has appeared. We've crashed, we've stopped. That's all good. It's transferred over just fine. However, this didn't appear, this splash background. I think it's because we need to turn it on. So splash background dot set active true, semicolon, and save. Now let's see how it behaves. We should hopefully have everything in order. Everything should work just fine now. That was the only thing that didn't seem to work there. So let's see how this goes. Let's just crash here. Yep, perfect. I'm happy with that. So the next thing I want to quickly do is reset everything. And as I said, I always like to do things a little differently. So we're going to create, in fact, I'm going to save that scene. We're going to create a new scene. And I am going to just have a UI element, which is going to be completely white. So raw image, let's stretch that all the way, 0 or everything out. And let's go to File, Build Settings. And essentially what I think we're going to need to do, rather than do that right now, is save the scene first. So save as, and scenes, and let's have this as CA, which is cube avoid, reset, and save. So let's go back to cube avoid, and then go to File, Build Settings, and click Add Open Scenes. And then that CA reset, let's also drag that into here. So we can see here, the main game is scene 0, CA reset is scene 1. So what's basically going to happen is we're going to go to CA reset and then instantly back to cube avoid. It's a nice quick way of resetting things in, well, without having to worry about too much code, and it's a real neat way of doing it. So all we need to do is basically create a script which allows us to reset. So right click, create C# script. We'll have this as cube avoid reset. Open it up in Visual Studio. And first thing we're going to need to do is add in a namespace, which is going to be using Unity engine dot scene management. My voice is going a bit there. So that scene management is going to be what transfers us back to our main scene. So we can get rid of void update and the annotations, and all we need to have in void start is scene manager dot load scene, and in brackets 0, and save. It's as simple as that to reset our scene, at least from that perspective. So back in scenes and CA reset, you can attach that script to anything. It doesn't really matter. So if we just attach it to the main camera, it's fine because it'll function as soon as the scene loads. So save that scene, head back into cube avoid, And in our crash mech, what we're going to do is add a coroutine. So enumerator, not enumerable, enumerator, and reset game. Open close bracket, open curly bracket. So we're going to yield for a couple of seconds. So return new, wait for seconds, and we'll wait for, let's say, 5. And let's add in the namespace for using Unity engine dot scene management. And then after 5 seconds, we say scene manager dot load scene 1, because 1 was the number for our reset scene. So last thing we need to do is, after we've played that animation, we say start coroutine reset game. Open close bracket, semicolon, and save. And now we should see this in action. So let's play and see what we get. Two, one, off we go. So let's try and get a score. Let's just crash here. And there we go. We have now reset. Right, so one thing extra there. Our score hasn't reset. So what I'm thinking is I want you guys to have a bit of a go on this. I know how to do it, but we're actually going to do it in the next tutorial because that fits in very nicely. That little bug there fits in very nicely what we're doing in the next tutorial. So if you want to try and fix it, go ahead, please have a go. If not, don't worry, we will fix it, because next tutorial what we're going to do is we're going to work with saving that score so we can display it on our start screen. So next tutorial we're going to deal with something called player prefs, and we're going to save a score and display it after we have reset. So until that next tutorial, guys, thank you very much for watching.